हाँ भाई, टॉपिक चल रहा था अपना, उसके क्वेश्चन आगे हम वीडियो में ले रहे हैं। अब ये फार्मिंगर्स फिफ्थ रिपोर्ट हमने बात की थी इसमें, उसकी 5वीं रिपोर्ट के बारे में। सेवरल चेंज वर इंट्रोड्यूस इन द स्फेयर ऑफ लैंड रेवेन्यू ड्यूरिंग द 19th सेंचुरी। 19वीं जो सदी है उसमें काफ़ी ज़्यादा चेंजमेंट है वो हुए लैंड रेवेन्यू सिस्टम। मैनी ऑफ दी चेंज वर एल्बोरेटली डॉक्यूमेंटेड इन फर्मिंगर रिपोर्ट। कई जो चेंज ऐसे हैं जो हमें फर्मिंगर की जो रिपोर्ट है उसके अंदर देखने को मिलते हैं। सबमिटेड टू द ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट इन 1813 में जो ब्रिटिश संसद में पेश की गई। It was the fifth of the series of report on the administration and activity of the British East India Company in India। ये 5वीं सीरीज थी इस चीज़ की, जो ब्रिटिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी भारत में जो भी प्रशासनिक गतिविधि कर रही थी उससे रिलेटेड। Therefore, it is known as the fifth report or Firminger fifth report। इसको 5वीं रिपोर्ट या फर्मिंगर की 5वीं रिपोर्ट के नाम से जाना जाता है। It was a voluminous report। It ran into 1000 pages, of which more than 800 pages were appendices। Petition of Zamindar and Rayat, report of collectors from various districts, statistical table on revenue return, and notes on the revenue and judicial administration of Bengal and Madras। Present day Tamil Nadu written by officials were reproduced in them। Causes of the presentation। Several significant causes contributed for its presentation। First, with the establishment of British East India Company rule in Bengal in 1760, its activities came under close watch and debate in England। 1760 के जो कंपनी के कामकाज से संबंधित जो बातें इसमें नोट की गई लगातार। द ब्रिटिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी हैड मोनोपोली ओवर ट्रेड विद इंडिया एंड चाइना। ब्रिटिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी की जो एक मोनोपोली थी, क्या, जो भारत और चाइना के अंदर व्यापार की। सेवरल ग्रुप्स इन ब्रिटेन वर अपोज, बहुत से ऐसे समूह थे जिन्होंने इसका अपोज किया। They wanted to revocate the royal charter giving company this monopoly। Third, there was an increasing number of private traders in Britain who wanted to share in the Indian trade। Fourth, the British industrialists wanted to open up the Indian market for British manufacturers। Several political groups argued that the benefit of the conquest of Bengal should go to the British nation as a whole and not only to the East India Company। जो ब्रिटिश जितनी भी औद्योगिक जो संस्थाएं थी, तो ब्रिटिश जो सामान बनता था वो सारा जैसे कि उसका बेनिफिट केवल और केवल ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को मिल रहा था, लेकिन उन्होंने कहा कि इसका बेनिफिट तो कंप्लीटली किसको मिलना चाहिए, ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट को मिलना चाहिए। इसलिए भी ये रिपोर्ट महत्वपूर्ण थी। साथ में बता रहे हैं इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द मिस रूल एंड मेल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ द कंपनी वॉज रीचिंग ब्रिटेन। The British newspaper were publishing the incidents of the greed and corruption of the official of the company. Hence, it became imperative for the British government to regulate and control the rule of the East India Company in India. In order to achieve this objective, the British Parliament passed a series of acts in the late 18th century. The company was compelled to produce regular reports on the administration of India. Several committees were appointed to inquiry into the affair of the company. The fifth report was one of such reports that was produced by a select committee. Significance बताओ भाई इसके। The fifth report was a significant report. It continued shaping our conception for over a century and a half about the nature and consequences of East India Company rule in Bengal in the late 18th century. It served as basis for intense parliamentary debate on the nature of companies' rule in India. The evidence contained in the fifth report is considered of great importance, but as it is an official report, it should be read and analyzed very carefully. Defect in the report. There is no denying the fact that there were some major defects in the report. First, the report cannot be termed as unbiased, as the main objective of those writing the report was to criticize the maladministration of the company. Second, the report exaggerated the collapse of the power of the traditional zamindar. Third, the report also exaggerated the scale on which zamindar were losing their land, as has already been discussed. Displacing a zamindar was not a child's play. The zamindar would retain their zamindari in a way or the other by using ingenious methods. The Pahadiya and the Santhals, the hoe and the plow. पहाड़िया और संथाल, कुदाल और हल। पहले बात करते हैं पहाड़िया कौन थे भाई। द पीपल लिविंग अराउंड द राजमहल हिल्स वर नोन एज द पहाड़िया। जिस क्वेश्चन है पहाड़िया कौन भाई, तो हम क्या बता देंगे, वो लोग जो राजमहल की पहाड़ियों के इर्द गिर्द रहते थे उनको पहाड़िया कहा जाता था। दे प्रैक्टिस शिफ्टिंग कल्टीवेशन एंड लिव्ड ऑन फॉरेस्ट प्रोड्यूस। जो शिफ्टिंग कल्टीवेशन यूज करते थे यानी कि स्थानांतरित कृषि और जंगल के उत्पादों पर निर्भर थे। दे वुड क्लियर पैचेस ऑफ फॉरेस्ट बाय कटिंग बुशेस एंड बर्निंग द अंडरग्रोथ। वो झाड़ियों जैसे काट देते, फिर उनको क्या करते, जला देते। द पोटास फ्रॉम द एश मेड द लैंड फर्टाइल। और फिर जो पोटास होती, जो ये राख होती, वो लैंड के ऊपर छिड़क देते, जो काफी फर्टाइल काम करते। द पहाड़ियाज वुड ग्रो ए वैरायटी ऑफ पल्सेस मिलेट्स फॉर कंजप्शन। देयर एग्रीकल्चर मेनली डिपेंडेड ऑन हो। उनका खेती का काम मेनली किस पर डिपेंड था, कुदाल पर। दे विद द हेल्प ऑफ हो स्क्रैच द ग्राउंड लाइटली एंड कल्टिवेटेड द क्लियर्ड लैंड फॉर ए फ्यू ईयर। वो उसको जैसे कुरच लेते, उसको ऊपर से स्क्रैच मतलब क्या होता है बेटा, कुरचना, उसको हटाते और वहां पर खेती कुछ सालों के लिए कर लेते। देन दे लेफ्ट इट फेलो फॉर सम ईयर्स एंड वुड कल्टिवेट बाय preparing new patches after some time. The land left fallow recovered its fertility and thus was recultivated. वो जैसे कुछ समय खेती करते, उसके बाद में उसको छोड़ देते, क्या होता फिर दोबारा से कुछ समय के बाद में फिर से उसके ऊपर खेती करने लग जाते। बात आती है लाइफस्टाइल की। Besides agriculture, the forest product too were means of livelihood of the Pahadiyas. The forest fruits and flowers form a significant part of their food. They would collect the flowers of mahua for food. They used to collect wood for charcoal production. They also gathered silk, cocoons and resin for sale. The undergrowth spreading like a mat below the tree and the patches of grass covering the lands left fallow serve as pasture for the cattle of the Pahadiya. Thus, hunting, shifting cultivation, food gathering, charcoal producing, and silkworm rearing were the main occupation of the Pahadiyas. They were intimately connected to the forest because of these occupations. They led a simple life on the lap of nature. They could make their hutments with. Tamen grow and rested in the shape of mango tree. They regarded the entire region as their own land. This land was the main basis of their identity and survival as well. The Pahadiya were organized in groups. Each group was headed by a chief. His main function was to maintain the unity of the group. The chief would maintain peace within their respective groups by settling disputes. They would also lead the tribe in battle with other tribe and plain people. The plain where settled agriculturists lived were regularly raided by the Pahadiyas. These raids were conducted from various regions. Generally, such raids were necessary for survival. They were conducted particularly in years of scarcity. The Pahadiyas plundered food items by raiding the plain, which saved them from hunger during the period of famine or scarcity. मेन क्या था कि इनका क्वेश्चन क्या था हमारा भाई, मैदानों के साथ में इनका संपर्क कैसे हो. The Pahadiyas also organized these raids as symbol of their power. They wanted to assert their power over settled communities through such raids. The Pahadiyas would also conduct these raids in order to negotiate political relations with outsiders. Thus, the people living in the plain were always apprehensive of the Pahadiya attack or raids the zamindar on the plain. Often would try to purchase peace by making regular payments of tribute to the Pahadiya chief. Similarly, the traders too gave a small amount as toll tax to the Pahadiya chief in order to seek permission to use the passes controlled by them. The Pahadiya chief receiving the toll tax would ensure the protection of the traders and their goods. Arrival of outsiders in Pahadiya regions. The situation started changing during the last decades of the 18th century. The British follow the policy of extending settled cultivation in eastern India after they became the masters of Bengal. They encouraged extending the cultivable area by clearing the forest. Consequently, the zamindar and jotdar started turning uncultivated land into rice fields. In fact, because of some specific reason, it had become imperative for the British to extend cultivable land. First, the extension in settled agriculture could help significant to enlarge the source of land revenue. ठीक है. Second, it could increase the production of crops for export. Third, the extension in settled agriculture could help in the establishment of a settled and ordered society. ये इस तरह की इसकी बातें थी.